Hi, Bessie. So this is something that I've talked about before, but I'm going to talk about it again because I don't want to assume that everyone who's on my channel knows this. So I am a teacher by profession. I'm not a teacher by ESL, I guess, if that makes sense. I actually studied teaching in 2010, finished in 2014, I want to say. I did not graduate on record time. I did an extra semester because I failed the first semester, and then I also failed one of my majors, so I had to stay longer in school. Story for another day. But anyway, I am a teacher. I'm qualified. I taught in SA for 3 years, and then I moved in 2018 to teach in China. I'm telling you all this because I actually never thought that I wanted to be. I just never dreamt of being a teacher. I never thought that I would be a teacher. I just happened to find myself teaching. Do I regret anything and everything? No, I don't. Maybe I was meant to be a teacher for a while. I don't know, but it happened. All right, so how did I end up studying teaching if I never wanted to be a teacher to begin with? So in 2009, I was doing my grade 12. Everyone applying, I started applying late. It was the first problem. I wanted to be a journalist, or my second option was marketing, and my third option was social work. I have no idea why that was my third option. I guess it's because it's what I knew. Right, so I applied, and then my applications in UKZN and whatnot were late, so I didn't get a response. And then I got a response after I got accepted at UFS, and then that's where I started teaching. But they only didn't have space in other courses. They just had space in teaching and BCom. And so my mom was like, well, teaching is better, you are going to get a job and whatnot, blah blah, that whole thing. So I went for it. It wasn't my choice. It's just like, oh, okay, if I want to be somebody in life, I guess, because everyone is saying that you're gonna get a job soon and whatnot. So okay, I'll go and study teaching. I guess I'm not gonna die if I do study teaching. So I started teaching. At the moment I started studying this thing, I knew that this is not what I want. But I did not have the language, nor did I have the privilege to actually be like, yay, wait a minute, I don't want to do this. I want to do something different. So I went along with it. Studied it. I failed my very first semester. I failed almost everything. Yeah, I don't even feel bad about that. I went from being a very bright student to being in an environment that I was not prepared for. I was very ill prepared for university. But what made it worse was that I didn't like the course I was doing. So yeah, I failed. I was never excited about the course at all. I was never excited about the practicals, going to schools and teaching. Sometimes they would send us, what do you call the thing, the whole process where you go and you teach in schools to practice. Yeah, I hated all of it, but I did not have the language. But I think the most important thing here was that I did not have the financial liberty to be like, hey, I actually don't want to study this, I want to change courses, because I knew my mom was a single mom, so I didn't have, because going to her and being like I don't want to study this was going to just be a whole different thing. So I continued and studied and finished. But I never stopped off dreaming of being a journalist or just being a media person. I went along with teaching but still held on to those dreams. Right, so fast forward 2015, I graduated in 2014. I stayed unemployed for about 6 months. 2015 March, I got my first job as a teacher, high school teacher, which was okay, but I was not in love with it. I didn't like it. I was just like, oh, okay. I liked that I was gonna make my own living and I was gonna support myself. That part was very nice and fun. But in terms of just loving and being in love with the job and being passionate about it, I've never been passionate about teaching ever at all. I just have always done my job to the best of my ability and respected the profession, but never really loved it. I'm not in love with it even now, but I respect it a lot. I will do my job. You're not going to tell me to do my job, but I just don't like it. Anyway, so in 2015 I go back to I get employed full-time. 2016 June, I was like, I am going back to school. Right, so initially I wanted to study journalism, but at UNISA they did not have journalism, they just had media studies, so communication science, and then it's media studies basically. So, and then they told me that you could also still, I'm very ill prepared in terms of knowledge, and I did not really try other institutions because I felt like UNISA was my best option since I was working full-time. Anyway, I go and I study. I don't regret this part at all. So I register, I resume my studies in 2016 June, undergrad communication science. So communication science was something I was really excited about. I remember studying and doing visual arts. I loved that module, by the way, and I actually did very well in it. But anyway, yeah, I was very excited, I was involved, it was intriguing to me. So I was like, okay, so this might be something that I actually, I might be on the right path, but let's see. So I studied, and then I had to take a break. I think I did the first semester in 2016. I'm funding myself this time. I make a big financial decision the same year. So 2017, I still continued to go to school. And then 2018, I had to I did the first semester, and then did I do the first semester? But I had to take a break, a financial break, because I could not afford to pay for my studies myself anymore. But it was such good timing because around the same year, in March, I applied to come teach here. So I was going to be disturbed anyway. So yeah, I did not study in 2018, I think. I want to say I didn't study in 2018. So I moved here, but I'm also not giving up on my dreams. But I'm now preoccupied with moving to China. Right, I moved to China. Everything is sorted. 2018, I don't study. 2019, I did not study. I'm sure I did not study in 2019 because I was not financially ready. And I was just not ready. I was still adjusting to life here. 2020, I go back to school, pick up from where I left off. I excel. So that's when I actually started excelling, because now I think I was more mature. I was in a much better space. I was not stressed about work, didn't have a lot of marking, so I had a bit more time to study. So I started loving my studies even more. So 2020, 2021, I finished my undergrad. There's a video. When I finished, I made a video because I was so proud, but I was still very new on YouTube. But yeah, I finished my studies, my undergrad, communication science, in 2021. Okay, so now there's another thing. When I was doing my B.Ed degree the first time, I swore to myself that I would not do postgrad because B.Ed was hell to me. It wasn't hard, but I hated the course. Now thinking about it back then, it actually was not even a hard course, but I hated it. So to me, it made me feel like I was not smart enough for postgrad. It's just something about what universities can do to you. It's like you're smart and now you're not smart anymore. You're like, what happened? So I saw to myself that I wasn't gonna do postgrad. I actually would tell one of my friends that I actually would rather do a lot of undergrad degrees instead of doing postgrad. I don't know why. I know why I was saying that, because I didn't feel like I was good enough for postgrad. In 2021, when I passed really well. Like I got very good grades. So before I finished my undergrad in 2021, I already applied to do my postgrad with UNISA still. Right, so I get my grades. Of course, they accepted me for postgrad because my grades were good. So I started doing my postgrad last year. BA Honors in Communications, no, BA Honors in Integrated Organizational Communication, but still Communication Science, the field. So at this point, I'm starting my honors just a few months after my grandmother's passing. So we are not going to just overlook that. So I'm still grieving. I remember my therapist saying, don't you think you should have taken a break or something like that? And I was like, no, it was going to be a waste of time. And I was right. I'm glad I did not take a break, but it was hard. So I'm still grieving, I'm sad, and I'm starting this thing. I'm used to now excelling in my undergrad, right? Oh my gosh, I start honors. I remember I made a video about school and just being a Satan's idea. So I start my postgrad, my honors now. It was a shock. because everything just changed. Undergrad is a little bit more different than postgrad. So like now I was expected to do more research. It was a lot of work. They want this many sources and stuff. It was just a lot for me. So I'm like, what did I do? What did I get myself into? I was right about this. So but still I'm pushing, because now I want to excel me. So if I'm studying, I am just going to excel. Oh, yeah, I'm going to try and excel. So anyway, I study, I apply myself. I'm learning how to do research and stuff, because I did not really know very well a lot about research. But anyway, I get my grades back in June. So I did 5 assignments. I took all my modules, by the way. I did not do half-half like some people do. I don't know why I did that, but I did it, and it was, I don't know, do it at your own risk. But yeah, I take all my modules. June, I get my grades back. Oh, I was not happy. I passed, but I just was like, I can do better. I want to do better. I want to excel. Note to self, if you are seeking different, better results, you will have to do things differently. This applies to all aspects of your life. This was around June last year, 2022. I also wrote myself a note that said, slow down, it's okay. When you rush, you don't get the grades you deserve. You are an A student, but you need to take your time, think about the content more deeply. You can do this. And then I do my assignments again in, I want to say June, around June and July, we did the second round, and then the third round was September. We did a lot of it's a lot. Anyway, I do that. Goes well-ish. It's just like, also I got used to it. It's like, oh, okay, honors, you're working full-time. It's just, maybe you're not cut out for this. You're just gonna get your 50s, and then you're gonna graduate, and it's okay. It's just, it doesn't matter the marks. I started convincing myself, but deep down I knew that I wanted to excel still. So I never really gave up the idea of working hard. Just knew that the grading, the markers, they were strict, the criticism, the advanced research. My supervisor it was a very stressful relationship. The emotional turmoil, just things, not having a life. I had to give up my life. Literally, I don't have much of a life, but I did not go out a lot. We had a lockdown here as well. It was just a lot. So dealing with that and dealing with honors at the same time, I was like, I almost broke down. Like, I actually did break down a few times. So I did cry about school. At one time I was in therapy, like, why? How can I do this? It's a lot, it's hard. And I was ready to give up, but I did not, because I don't like giving up. So, and unless it's really hard, I guess, I don't know, but I'm not the person who wants to give up. I'd be so disappointed in myself if I gave up. I'd rather just carry on with it. The coursework was hard, right? We got that. Now we're approaching the exams. Okay, so in my head, I'm like, if you've done the coursework, but now in the coursework, you're working for 25%, right? You're working for 20%, because it's so unfair, right? So anyway, I'm working for all these grades, and then I'm like, the exam should not be that hard. Boy, oh boy, the exams were the worst. January, I almost went crazy. In January. Some exams are like 50 pages. Where am I supposed to get 50 pages? 30 pages, this and that, the rules and stuff. I had to do a lot of corrections for my final paper, my advanced research paper, because I was not passing very well. I wasn't failing anything, but I wasn't passing very well. But in the end, you guys, I'm surprised. I passed so well. I was doing 5 modules. I got 4 distinctions, and then I didn't get a distinction for 1. I wasn't expecting those grades. I worked really hard. So as surprised as I was, as stressed as I was about the whole thing, I think the takeaway here is hard work does pay off sometimes. And this time it really, really did. I'm so proud. Like, I've passed before. I have 3 qualifications at this point. I have 3 degrees. But this one, I think I'm more proud of, because it was really hard. Oh, I didn't mention that I wrote my exams. When I was writing my exams, I got the worst flu. You remember the one time I made a video cooking, just in January, and what we don't want to pay for birthdays and stuff. that video, the day after that video, I got so sick that I had to write my exam. Like sometimes I'd go do research for 4 hours at least and then go back. I would need to sleep. It wasn't even a matter of I'm tired. Yes, I was tired at times, but it was more also my body could not handle it. It was such a weird phase. But I knew that me and giving up, I've come so far. I don't want to write, you know, in April, the exams and whatnot. No. I want to finish. So I pushed through. One of the modules, I only wrote it. The module I didn't get a distinction in, I just wrote it in one day, that exam, just one day. So I guess it makes sense. Yeah, anyway, we did it. We passed. I passed. I did that. Like, I did that. I passed. I worked hard. And now we're hoping for the best in terms of actually getting to change careers. God's timing. I'm frustrated about that now at this point because in my head the time is now. I want it to happen now, but it's not happening. It's disappointing, but we're not going to focus on the negatives. We're just going to focus on the fact that I did that. I passed. I have 3 qualifications. I got accepted for a master's degree, but I think I want to take a break this year. So I will be studying next year. I will do my master's next year. I also just want to explore my options, want to make sure I'm doing the master's in a field that I want or most passionate about. I know what I like more now in communications. I know the aspects that I really don't like a lot. But yeah, that's an update. Passed, I did it. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. I appreciate that so much. Love you guys. Bye.